AI, like anything else, is a tool. And I really think that it's a neutral tool. It's one of those things that can be used for good. It saves you a lot of time. You can put through a lot of data. It helps you think through some complex problems or find a solution, but it can also be used for bad. And it has sped up the way that cyber criminals can operate, and really any attacker can operate. And the ability to come at you so much faster with a much more convincing story. And so that's what we're going to talk about today on the Learn Online Security podcast. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Richard Bankert. I'm the CEO of LearnOnlineSecurity.com. And I've got Chris Howells with me here today, our Director of IT and Head Trainer. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, Richard, how are we doing today?
We are doing awesome. And we've been talking about this topic of AI for quite a while. And it's exciting and extremely concerning at the same time.
And we can say that our conversations get pretty intense.
They do. But so let's just take a very limited example here. Back in the day, we had all sorts of programs that would come out for scraping the internet and being able to pull in data. But AI, I think, has just supercharged that in the way that it can collect information about you.
Not only has it supercharged it, it's simplified it. I can turn around and say to AI, tell me everything you can find on let's say Queen Elizabeth, God rest her soul. And it will literally scrape every last information it can find, and it's got a whole data center doing the work for it. And not only can it scrape that information, but it can hand it to you in record time. Where before an attacker wanted information, they could collect that information, but it could take them days, weeks, months. I mean, we have our own research specialist with us. And when we do our courses, we allot her 30 minutes to check up on the attendance so we can show people what there is out there, so we can give them their profile. And we limit her to 30 minutes, and you've seen what she can do.
Well, you can find a ton of information on people. And I think one of the concerns with AI is now attackers have the ability to dig way deep into the internet. So they're finding forgotten accounts that you don't even remember that you had. And those have old posts, personal details that are exposed in them. Maybe there's a profile. So maybe you've gone into Facebook, you've done the whole privacy thing, you've locked it down. There's no more information on you there. But what about your, I don't know if MySpace is still a thing, but for an example, your MySpace account back in the day, and that profile may still have a ton of information about you that is just wide open and has already been scraped.
So let's go back to Facebook quick. I've done everything. I realized my error in my ways, and I cleaned it up. But I made a post in 2007 on a class picture because I wasn't aware at the time. Well, that doesn't get covered under the privacy settings because that's under somebody else's post or a group or somewhere else. So it scrapes off that information of where you went to school and everything else because you're now tagged in a picture that you didn't have control of.
That ties into one of the other things. Like we talk all the time about private data versus public data. And you really have to understand and remember what information of yours is private or considered private and what is public. And technically, in our way of thinking, anything that you upload to any sort of a server out there, now someone else has that information. So it really limits the amount of what is truly private in your life. And so being able to find your school or being able to find out, what your first pet's name is, that information can be gleaned pretty easily. And AI has just supercharged that scraping ability that we have.
It has the resources to go further, faster, and collect more.
So, what we recommend is definitely doing a digital deep dive of truly understanding what information is out about you on the internet so that you can uh, clean that up, take it down, whatever it is, because it's going to just get scraped faster and faster. And so, once I think in talking about this, one of the things that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Reddit agreed or did a sign off or a buyout or something in order that open AI models could then use the forum data from Reddit. I have to go back and look at that.
That's something I'd have to look at. It's not something that I follow. I admittedly, Reddit is not a media that I use openly and regularly. I don't even think I have a Reddit account.
Okay, this was in May 16th, 2024, OpenAI and Reddit partnership. In line with OpenAI. So OpenAI will bring enhanced Reddit content to ChatGPT and new products, helping users discover and engage with Reddit communities. So this means that all of the conversations that are had on Reddit are now being fed into the OpenAI model. And so the goal of it is to train the OpenAI model. However, this begs then a whole other conversation of when I am communicating online and putting my information, my thoughts, everything into forums and different platforms. Uh, who does that information actually belong to?
Open, it becomes that public versus private that we discussed. Even though I have to get quote unquote a membership or a login or something to use Reddit, all my information is public. So it's kind of horse and cart in that it doesn't matter. It gives you the illusion of private, gives you the illusion that nobody knows who you are. But the reality is, Reddit sold your information before you even had a say in it. You're only saying it is whether or not you choose to use Reddit. And I'll be honest, like, I've seen some crazy stuff discussed on Reddit.
You can find a lot of stuff, yeah.
Right. Which now let's talk about the AI open model where it collects information from anywhere and everywhere. Somebody in this discussion, and I'm not going to say who, is known to be a very, very sarcastic individual.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And not a clue, right? Couldn't be me, couldn't be you. Must be Casper in the room. How much time do we have somebody that you see somebody in a conversation and you know the conversation isn't going anywhere? So you just start agreeing with the misinformation that's there.
Right.
And all of a sudden it becomes fact. Well, AI had just scraped all of that. Right? And it has no way to decipher if it's accurate or not.
That's probably one of the biggest concerns there, is that I can quickly put out deep fake information. So I can pretend to be the president, I can pretend to be Elon, doesn't matter. I can put that video up and I can have that going viral in seconds using AI tools, and there's no guards in place. And I think there should be guards in place, but at the same time, putting guards in place is also problematic, because then someone has to say, and I don't want to get all political on it, but someone then has to decide what is in true information and what is not true information. And it's really hard in a day's age like today, because we're fed so much misinformation, as it were. And a lot of it we see as being true until we realize that it's not true. And so there's lots of information that comes out on a regular basis that lots of people believe. So, for example, you take any particular food and you say, is this good for me or bad for me? And you will find a million posts that says this particular food is terrible, do not eat it. And then you'll find a million posts that say this is the next best thing and this is the only thing you should be eating. And so which one is true?
Take that a step further in that I'm going to pick on the news industry for a little bit. News has become entertainment.
Very much.
It was very factual, these are the facts. Now you get a news story and it's sensationalized to make sure that it sells that headline.
And really, that's it. It's all about ratings and reviews and everything. So let's get back to AI and security. So
yeah,
I can then use AI to easily scrape your data, to take that information, put it into a database wherever I want so that I can profile you so much quicker. So within that, what is the purpose of all this? I get this information. Well, now it used to be that you would get a very poorly written email from someone that says, hey, this is the Prince of Dubai. I have, 43 billion in doubloons that I'm trying to get rid of. And I need to get them over to North America. Can you help me offload this? And for helping me, I'll give you half.
Yeah.
So what has AI done to that particular email now?
Well, that email has changed to, here's a financial, I'm not introducing myself anymore as the prince of this or that, but the AI is now giving it a legitimate corporate name saying, I'm operating in the country of Dubai. And we're looking for those to help us recreate, they're taking, the AI is grabbing information about you. If you're an investor, well, now the email gets changed to, we have an investment for you to make that can quadruple. All we need from you is $500. We can quadruple your money in this. We just need to turn around and have the investment done so we can move the investment offshore where its value is higher. Okay, so that's an investor. Let's take somebody that's trying to think of the word for it, but I can't right now. Somebody that's got human interests, right? I have a mission in Dubai and there's 7,000 starving children. And if you could help us by investing in this, we can move these 100 children to the United States where they can achieve greatness and become wonderful.
Right.
And now I'm pulling on humanitarian strings. I can pull on your patriotic strings.
Well, I think within all that, the best scams are ones that have authenticity in them. So, for example, if they can get their hands on a legitimate attack, so they pull your company, they get your company information with your client list. Okay, I've got your company client list. Now I can email your company list and say, hey, this is so-and-so from your company, and this has taken place, and we just need you to do X, Y, Z. And they actually have information tied to it. So maybe it's a laptop warranty, maybe it's a upcoming invoice that's happening. We've seen this a number of times. Once was with, what was that story with the fertilizer company?
Yeah. One of our clients called us really, really quickly. They were in a panic. And the essential of it, because we can't name the fertilizer company, the AI had literally, somebody internally had used AI to intercept what was going to be a large payment going out. And then they were using the AI with the banks to try change the banking information to go elsewhere. Now, there was criminal investigation and everything else, and we're lucky. And I always say this, and you laugh at me about it, but the one thing that right now is safeguarding us from AI is human stupidity, right? It's the only thing that AI can't predict human stupidity. We'll leave it at that, right? And that's the only
Maybe
thing
one day.
that's what's truly saving us at this point.
Yeah.
In this particular case, the AI didn't anticipate that somebody in a different department would pick up a phone and validate that this person was actually doing it because they were very persistent. Well, if you're persistent, why didn't you phone us? Why are you doing this online? And when they started following it back, they found out an AI tool was used by somebody internally to scrape information.
Yeah.
And that's probably the scariest place where AI is when it's used internally within an organization.
Oh, for sure.
And there's no
Um,
and there's no fencing to keep it in its
just in
rows.
our time here, I wanted to jump onto one other topic that I found concerning about AI. And we're so focused on people being attacked and there being some sort of injection of AI, or somehow people are attacking, and we don't realize that we need to train the people within our organization, because they are by far the weakest link. And where you are the weakest link is where you're comfortable. So you're at home,
Yeah.
you're away from work, you're on travel, wherever it is, that's where it's super easy to attack you. And so one of the things that's come up that I've noticed recently, it's there's a got me onto this, was the Gronk AI avatars, where they're actually building AI models that you can then form relationships with. And so if people form emotional bonds with AI chatbots slash characters, which totally going to happen, what are the risks involved in that? Can you imagine the information that will be shared with someone that you love that's fake? It's like a
Let's take this a totally
next
different.
level romance scam.
Let's take this in a totally different venue or vein. Um, One of the strongest tools in the world is human grief.
Yes.
I lose a loved one, and I lose that loved one, and the grief overcomes me to the point that I just need to talk to them, just need to hear that voice. So I create the avatar of that loved one. Think about the manipulation that suddenly could happen with that.
I didn't even think about the possibility of that. I could see a huge market for that. I could see it being incredible. I can't imagine the psychological problems with doing that, and the amount of information that you would share with that type of avatar. I totally see it happening, though.
Like I said, the biggest thing is grief or want.
So the concern here is that if you have an avatar that you have fallen in love with, a fake AI, someone controls that AI. Somewhere, someone out there, some company, and yes, it's encrypted and it's blah, 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 but they're the ones who came up with the encryption. So essentially, you have, for legal purposes, they have to maintain all chats and all this and all that. So that information shared with them is saved somewhere. Someone can access it despite what anyone says. They need to be able to access it for legal purposes. So therefore, nothing is ever deleted. It's like the whole Snapchat thing of, oh, we just take photos and then the photos go away. It's like, oh no, you take a photo, that disappearing photo is saved on a server somewhere. It's still in existence. So
Oh yeah,
oversharing of sensitive info with unsecure AI, criminals posing as AI companions to extract data. So, what if the AI is actually taken over and you think you're talking to a computer model, but there's actually a person on the other side? And then the emotional manipulation that can happen that then leads to fraud or insider breaches. Um, there's so many cases just within forums of people getting children to do different tasks where they're getting them to do horrible things. And so how much can AI then be utilized to undermine our employees and get them to do things that are detrimental to our organizations.
Not only detrimental to our organizations, but I'm going to put a whole extra spin on this because we've seen this happen too, where the AI is quote unquote helping an organization
Mm-hmm.
and it decides, well, you're not going to find a candidate, so I'm going to do the job instead.
Oh, yes. I know. It's like,
The first
it's so
time I saw
helpful.
that, it blew my mind away. Organization was looking for an HR director because theirs had just left. They told the receptionist, hey, generate an ad, make sure it hits my desk. Receptionist was a little bit overwhelmed, was excited that she could use AI, turned around and said to AI, generate ad for new HR department. The AI explored everything, and rather than generate an ad, it hired itself for the HR department
Nice.
and then asked all the employees to send it its banking information and their personal information.
Can you imagine?
Oh, we lived the nightmare because remember, we had to help shut it down. And that was scary.
Yeah, there's so many situations like this, and you have to be on top of them. And uh, honestly, we don't have time to go into everything that we want to talk
Oh,
about in this, like deep fakes, AI hacking tools, just the disinformation, and then like critical thinking erosion. Like AI sounds so smart, so I should trust it. And really, when you get professionals to look at the exact same thing, and AI is not quite there yet, but it's getting better, which is concerning in itself. So
yeah.
some things to take away is awareness is the first defense, like training staff, making sure that you have these conversations ahead of time. uh, Always verify unusual requests by another channel. If it seems off, slow down and take the time. Digital hygiene, strong passwords, remove old accounts. If you are interested in looking into the digital deep dive, we have that on learnonlinesecurity.com. And it is one of the services we do where we will dig into your background and find out, okay, what information is out there so that you can shut it down or at least be aware that it's there, as well as creating policies so that you can start to at least have a framework to protect yourself.
And that one's actually huge because that's something that we've started helping our clients with. Um, AI was never a policy issue that you had to work into before. It is something that has to be strongly sat down, discussed. And it's not a, well, we're going to make a policy. No, this is something that needs to be discussed where you can see which avenues you need to go down to where you want AI to be used or not be used.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us here. We're going to jump. We're creating another video right after this to go over, but we do want to know, do you have any other questions about AI that we can dive into in this podcast? Drop a comment, let us know, send us an email, whatever way you got to get a hold of us. Join us on Facebook or YouTube. We appreciate that. But we're going to jump over and create another video right away, which will be a follow-up of this one to come out. The shocking secrets AI knows about you. And understanding this is how this information is getting in there. And yeah, it's an exciting topic. So we're going to jump into that right away. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast. And we appreciate you.